Located on Route 66, the small town of Collinsville, Illinois is relatively unsuspecting at a first glance. But take a closer look, and you'll find an ominous urban legend. The Seven Gates of Hell, a series of bridge trestles located across rural Collinsville that locals say have been haunted for decades.
I grew up on 114 3rd Street in Collinsville, and today I live, it's actually Collinsville, but at the rural area, very near the Gates of Hell. We used to cruise the back roads at night, just have a lot of fun. And we did see a lot of times, a lot of us had seen it when we were growing up, we saw a lot of green, like almost like apparition type, I want to say it was almost like lights, but they were floating. And we'd seen them way out in the distance. We have no idea what they were, but to this day, a lot of us had seen them. And we don't know if that was any association, but we always assumed it was part of the gates.
I live about 5 to 10 minutes away from the gates. I learned to drive on these roads with my dad, and that's when I first heard the story of that they were haunted. But I've heard a bunch of different stories on like people have seen like ghosts out here.
Although accounts seem to vary on exactly how the gates are haunted, locals seem to agree that regardless, there's definitely something very foreboding about them.
So they were always kind of eerie. And you did see in between certain gates, one of the other gates, which I believe is Gate 5, is one that where a lot of, I want to say, unnatural things seemed to occur. And there's a cemetery, an old cemetery from the late 1800s and early 1900s right up the road. So we always assumed that was something that had something to do with that gate. And so it was pretty eerie.
I'm not so sure how entirely true it is that they're haunted, but there definitely is a sense of eeriness, and it's kind of creepy all around all of the bridges. So, yeah.
Whether you think the gates are haunted or not, it's definitely an interesting legend to be sure. Reporting for Panther Beat, this is Nathan Rhyne and Robbie Greene.